Good day, ma'am and sir. In this video, we're going to present to you ours. Again. Okay. Good day, ma'am and sir. On this video, we're going to present to you our research study, which is entitled Crime Management in the New Normal, Level of Satisfaction Among the Residents of Barangay Gredo, Panabo City, Davao del Norte. But before we proceed to the discussions of our research study, let us introduce ourselves first. I am Mamar Gonda, third year BS Criminology, and one of the researchers.
And I am Bench Kailoranan.
And I am Rodney Castillo.
And let's proceed to the introduction of this research study. In the presence of COVID-19, there are lots of problems that occur specifically in the crime management that needs to be considered. The problem of this dependent variable, if the satisfaction level is disregarded, there will be no basis for improvement. Even though the means of crime management is least satisfactory, and probably those who develop the crime management will be at ease, which they shouldn't be, especially in the dominance of pandemic. That's why it is important to get feedback about their satisfaction level. The police performance in terms of their means of crime management enables the neighborhood to build their own standards if the responsibility of the police is commendable. It is important to know that if they carry the responsibility correctly and will reach the satisfactory of every person without the impression of the neighborhood or the people living in the community, there will be no place for improvement in the crime management methodologies, or in short, it serves as their basis for improvement of their system in achieving their goals, which is the crime prevention. In the study entitled Crime Management in the New Normal, Level of Satisfaction Among the Residents of Barangay Gredo, Panabo City, Davao del Norte, the crime management was the independent variables. The dependent variables was the level of satisfaction. In the independent variable, there are two indicators which are the crime prevention and public order management, which could affect the dependent variable, which is the level of satisfaction. Crime prevention pertains to the means of the law enforcers in preventing the crimes such as patrolling and etc. And public order management pertains to the security needed in a society. These two indicators will be evaluated by the dependent variable, which is the level of satisfaction among the residents of Barangay Gredo, Panabo City. This study is anchored to the satisfaction with the police in Chile, which states that policing can take multiple forms and be linked to different objectives, such as crime prevention, crime control, and public order management. Advocates of community policing emphasize the relevance of positive encounters with citizens and communities. Most of these people, positive community policing approaches, however, are concentrated in residential areas, which more repressive measures are used at the urban margins. This study will encounter how satisfaction level contribute to the crime management, specifically in the new normal setting. The research gap of this study is that the researcher will determine if the crime management before the pandemic and in the new normal differs, or the occurrence of crime is rampant in the new normal or before the pandemic. Since the new normal setting is a new thing, the present study will be contributed to some factors such as contribute to the future studies as their references, further contribute to the implementation of crime management, and make a recommendation on how to lessen the crime rate within the Barangay Gredo, Panabo City, Davao del Norte. The findings of this study serve as basis for the barangay officials and law enforcers to improve and develop their strategic management in controlling and preventing crimes and criminals. The result of the study may provide insights to the law enforcers on the strategies and actions they need to improve in regards to the crime management to become more effective in fighting criminalities. Furthermore, the result of the study may eventually benefit the residents of Barangay Gredo. The study will help law enforcers to improve their performance in crime management. With this, it will help the residents to have better security. The result of the study shall serve as reference for future researchers, with whatever similar studies they shall partake in. And our research objectives in this research study is this aims to determine the level of satisfaction among the residents of Barangay Gredo, Panabo City in crime management. Specifically, in the study, we will answer the following objectives. Number one, What is the level of satisfaction among the residents of Barangay Gredo, Panabo City in terms of crime prevention and public order management? These two indicators that we already indicate this in our first paragraph. The next one is
Next is the research respondents. The respondents of this study were the residents of Barangay Gredo, Panabo City, Davao del Norte, both male and female, and must be 18 years old and above. The researcher used selected random sampling to distinguish the following respondents. Next is the materials instrument. The researcher used materials to serve as a basis of the study. The researcher used a questionnaire in order to collect data information about the said problem. The instrument was used in order to know the residents' response in the dependent variables and independent variables. Next is the researcher used closed-ended questions. Next is the researcher instrument used in the study was adapted from the performance of Barangay Police Security Officer or BPSO or TANOD in maintaining peace and order, Cruise 2020, and Community Satisfaction on Barangay Peacemaking Action Team or BPAT performance in Osamis City, Philippines, Cruise 2020. So there are three sections in this questionnaire, which are the data privacy and data privacy profile of the respondents and research questionnaire. There are two sets of this questionnaire. The first one is the crime prevention, followed by the public order management.
Design and procedure. In Barangay Gredo, there are 16,525 population according to the census of 2020. In this study, we used the random sampling to get the respondents that we needed to by using the Sloven formula. The N is equals to the total of population of Barangay Gredo, Panabo City, and the E, which is 0.05 is given the formula. Therefore, there are 390 respondents that the researchers need to conduct this study. Since the studies attempts to measure the level of satisfaction of the residents of Barangay Gredo, Panabo City terms study of crime management, descriptive research design was the use of survey method to get the data about the varying subject and description. A descriptive research it aims the accurately and systematically describe the population of situation or phenomenon or phenomenon. Okay, so variant section or phenomenon. After the approval of the panel or of the members, the researchers had undergone the following step. The procedures is in gathering data. The researchers ask permission to get the responders. They are willing to answer the questionnaire. What their level of satisfaction in crime management in the new normal. Confidentially, and their response will be not close to the pandemic questionnaire was disseminated only their vacant time. Furthermore, the researchers will retrieve the survey questionnaire after the respondents have answered all the items. Finally, the researchers tabulated all the data gathered from the respondents, subjects, statistical analysis. The statistical result, the analyzed and interpreted with the data conclusion were drawn. The recommendation were formulated based on the findings of the study. The statistical tools of that were the use the interpretation of the mean. This statistical tool is used to determine the level of satisfaction about the crime management.
In addition to the materials and instrument that the researcher used, the researcher also used the Likert scale. So in Likert scale, the range of means is 1.0 to 1.80. The descriptive equivalent is very low, and its interpretation is the level of satisfaction in crime management was not observed. Next is the 1.90 to 2.60. The descriptive equivalent is low. The level of satisfaction in crime management was less observed. Next is 2.70 to 3.40. The descriptive equivalent is moderate, and the interpretation is the level of satisfaction in crime management was moderately observed. Next is 3.50 to 4.20. The descriptive equivalent is high. The interpretation is the level of satisfaction in crime management was observed. Next is 4.30 to 5. The descriptive equivalent was very high. The interpretation, the level of satisfaction in the crime management was very much observed.
And that is all for our outline defense. Thank you. Bye-bye!
Sure, di ba? Stop sharing. Stop share.